There comes a point in every man's life where the illusions crumble. The narratives we were fed from childhood about love, loyalty, and the supposed purity of a woman's heart begin to rot under the weight of experience. It's not a single betrayal that does it. It's the accumulation, the buildup of repeated patterns, of truths seen but ignored, of instincts brushed off in the name of hope. One day, you stop making excuses. You stop rationalizing why she changed, why she pulled away, why her words don't match her behavior. And when that moment hits, it's like a switch flips in your soul. You no longer trust or believe any woman, not out of pain, not out of hatred, but out of clarity. Because now you see the difference between what you were told and what you lived. You see how easily affection becomes absence, how quickly passion becomes apathy. You've seen the smile that fades into distance, the I love you that turns into silence, the I'll always be here that disappears when you're down. And in that moment, you're not bitter, you're free, because now you stop looking outside yourself for truth. You stop seeking validation from people who are loyal only to their feelings. You begin to realize you were lied to not by one woman, but by a system that taught you to believe in things that were never real, that women are nurturing, selfless, and devoted, that love is unconditional, that your efforts will be matched if you're just a good man. But what you experienced taught you the opposite. And when reality breaks through the illusion, you can't go back, you can't unknow the truth. You're not damaged, you're not broken, you're awake. And in this world, that makes you dangerous. Most men walk into relationships carrying an invisible burden. They assume women love like they do. They think love means loyalty, sacrifice, showing up when it's inconvenient. They believe that if they give enough, stay consistent, stay faithful, it will be reciprocated. But over time, experience reveals the brutal truth. For many women, love is not about commitment, it's about emotional fulfillment. The moment you stop providing what she craves, attention, validation, excitement, emotional highs, she starts emotionally detaching. You haven't changed, you're still the same man. But suddenly, she's distant, cold, indifferent, and you're left wondering what went wrong, when all you did was stay consistent. That's the illusion. That's the trap. Women speak in emotional waves in the moment. They'll say, you're the one, that they've never felt like this before, that they'll never leave. But those promises are born from emotional highs, not from tested loyalty. They vanish the moment those highs fade. You see it when she starts creating distance, when she picks fights over nothing, when she says she needs space. It's not about what you did, it's about what she no longer feels. And if your worth in her life is tied to a feeling, then her love was never stable. It was conditional, based on her moods, her validation needs, her emotional weather. That's not love, that's dependency wrapped in romance. So when she walks, don't chase. When she switches up, don't beg. Watch her actions, measure her consistency. Because if her loyalty disappears when you're no longer convenient, she was never really loyal to you, just loyal to what you provided. And once you see that clearly, you stop falling for words. You stop building on emotional promises. You start building on truth. And truth doesn't flinch when feelings fade. This mindset doesn't come from one woman. It's not born out of a single heartbreak or one bad relationship. It comes from watching the same story play out repeatedly, with different faces but the same ending. You see the patterns. Women who cheat and then play victim. Women who cry about being lonely after betraying someone who gave them everything. Wives who walk away after decades of stability because they don't feel it anymore, and no one calls them out. No one holds them accountable. Society just nods along, praises their bravery, tells them they deserve happiness even if it means destroying someone who was loyal, consistent, and present. You watch it unfold with friends, with brothers, maybe even your own father. Good men being drained, discarded, and disrespected by women who once swore they'd never leave. And when the man breaks, he's told to toughen up, to keep giving, to do better next time. Meanwhile, her actions are justified, excused, even celebrated. That's the world we live in. A clown world where the man who sacrifices is disposable and the woman who walks away is empowered. You start noticing how often words and behavior don't align. How women talk about wanting honesty but get hostile when you tell the truth. How they claim to want loyalty but chase after men who treat them like options. You stop trusting the surface. You stop buying into the performance. Because most women today are experts at image management. They know how to play sweet, kind, nurturing until it no longer serves them. And once the mask slips, once comfort or novelty calls, they pivot without hesitation. You realize you're not paranoid. You've just been paying attention. And now that you see the game for what it is, you stop playing by its rules. You start playing by your own. Once you stop believing in the fantasy, everything changes. You no longer look at women through the lens of hope, but through the clarity of patterns. You stop chasing promises and start observing behavior. That shift, emotional detachment, isn't about becoming cold. It's about becoming controlled. You're no longer reacting to every mood swing, every test, every passive-aggressive jab. You don't take the bait. You don't explain yourself to someone trying to manipulate your emotions. You don't try to fix what's clearly broken. If she's disloyal, you walk. If she plays games, you exit. No arguments, no explanations, no second chances. Because a man who values himself doesn't beg for respect. He enforces it. And that enforcement comes through silence, through action, through detachment. You're not looking for a woman to complete you. You've already built yourself. Your purpose, your peace, your mission, that's your anchor now. And women feel that. They sense when a man is no longer easily swayed. When his validation doesn't come from attention or affection. That kind of man is rare. And in today's world, that kind of man is dangerous. Because you're no longer accessible to just anyone. You don't hand out your time, your energy, your trust. It must be earned, proven, consistent. And when a woman realizes she can't manipulate you, she either levels up or falls back. Either way, you don't lose. You win by default because you stayed grounded, you stayed unmoved. Emotional detachment is not indifference, it's power. The kind of power that can't be faked. The kind that turns heads without saying a word. And once you reach that level, you realize the less you need from someone, the more control you have. You move different. You expect nothing. You accept everything. And you lose nothing. You no longer believe in fairy tales. No longer believe in soulmates or forever. What you believe in now is earned loyalty, mutual respect, and consistent action. You've learned that love, on its own, is not enough. Chemistry fades. Words mean nothing if not backed by behavior. Even loyalty means little if it only exists when things are easy. What matters is character, the kind that stands firm when emotions waver, the kind that shows up when it's inconvenient. You don't give your trust away freely anymore. You don't hand over your vulnerability to someone just because they seem different or say the right things. You move slow, you vet, you observe, because women know how to market themselves. They know how to say what you want to hear, how to mirror your values, how to appear genuine, but surface means nothing. Time is the only test. You've stopped projecting your own depth onto others. Most women don't think like you, don't feel like you, don't love like you. And that's not a reason to hate, it's a reason to guard. Your kingdom isn't open to everyone. Access must be earned. If she's inconsistent, she's out. If she tests your boundaries, you don't explain, you walk. And when a woman does show up right, if she proves herself through action, through sacrifice, through calm during chaos, you'll still move slow. Because you've learned not to gamble with peace. You're no longer looking to be completed. You're already whole. You're no longer trying to be loved, you're living in truth. And if someone is worthy, they'll rise to meet you. If not, you'll leave without a second thought. Because now, your loyalty belongs to you. Your peace is your priority, and your heart is protected not out of fear, but out of strength.